The world is loud, and most people are absolutely terrified of the silence. They feel this need, this almost desperate need, to broadcast every move, every goal, and every small win to anyone who will listen. But here's what they don't realize. Noise is just a leak of energy. While they're busy talking about what they're going to do, you're going to show them what you've done. I want you to really think about the last time you told someone your plan before you actually executed it. Maybe it was a business idea, maybe it was a diet, maybe it was a YouTube channel you would diet, maybe it was a YouTube channel you were going to start. And what happened after you said it out loud? Honestly, most of the time, nothing. The plan just evaporated because the talking replaced the doing. There's a reason the most dangerous people in any room are the quietest ones, and today I'm going to break that down for you completely. Look, I'm not just speaking from vibes here. There's actual psychology behind this. There's a concept called social reality. When you announce a goal to other people, when you say, I'm going to start a business or I'm going to hit the gym every day, your brain does something kind of wild. It registers the social acknowledgement as a form of completion. Like, you already got the dopamine hit from people reacting. The compliments, the OMG that's so cool, the little heart emojis. Your brain files that away as progress, even though you haven't done a single thing yet. Derek Sivers, this entrepreneur and TED speaker, did a whole talk on this, and the research is clear. People who keep their goals private are significantly more likely to actually follow through on them because their brain hasn't been tricked into feeling like they've already won. Think about that for a second. Every time you post about your grind before the grind has produced anything, you are literally sabotaging yourself at a neurological level. That's not motivation. That's not accountability. That is your brain stealing your own energy. Okay, let me bring this somewhere we can all relate to, because I feel like this hits differently when you frame it the right way. You know what it's like in Minecraft? When you're playing a survival world and someone on the server announces they're going to build the biggest castle anyone has ever seen, like they're in chat going crazy. Bro, I'm about to build something insane. Watch this, subscribe, this is going to break the algorithm, and then what happens? They gather like 15 wood, get killed by a creeper, and log off forever. But the player who never said a word, they've been mining in silence for 3 hours. They've got a full iron set, a hidden base, a functioning farm. They didn't need the announcement. The build was the announcement. That's the vibe I want you to carry into your real life. Your results are your press release. Your work is your status update. I mean, look at the biggest creators you know. Look at the most successful people you admire. How many of them are constantly on Twitter talking about what they're about to do versus just dropping something that leaves everyone speechless? The ones who last, they build in silence, they release in thunder. Now I want to get a little more real with you, because this goes deeper than just goals. There's another layer to silence that nobody talks about, and it's this: when you overshare, you open yourself up to other people's energy, and not everyone's energy is clean. Here's what I mean. The moment you tell someone your dream, even someone who genuinely loves you, you invite their fears into your vision. Because people can only give you advice based on what they believe is possible. If the person you're telling has never left their hometown, never started a business, never made real money on the internet, their realistic advice is actually just a projection of their own ceiling onto your sky. And the dangerous thing is, you might not even know it's happening. You walk into a conversation with 100% belief, and you walk out with 60%. That's not their fault necessarily. That's just how energy transfer works. So the silence isn't just about tactics. It's about protection. It's about guarding the version of yourself that is still becoming. You don't show someone a half-built house and ask them if it's beautiful. You finish it, you furnish it, then you open the door. Drop a comment if you've ever felt your momentum die the second you told someone about your plan, because I promise you, you are not alone in that experience. Okay, so we've talked about the science, we've talked about the energy. Now let's talk about identity, because this is where it gets really deep. Most people think that silence is passive, like keeping quiet means you're just waiting, hiding, playing small. But that's completely backwards. Real silence is active. It is the most aggressive move you can make in a world that's addicted to noise. When you go silent on social media after a loss, instead of posting about how hard things are, you are training yourself to detach your self-worth worth from external validation. And that is one of the most powerful things a human being can learn to do. I'm not even exaggerating. When you stop explaining yourself to people who aren't in your corner, when you stop trying to justify your choices, your path, your grind, you stop giving away the mental bandwidth that you desperately need for execution. Silence builds identity. It says, I know who I am and I don't need you to confirm it. Think about every successful person you look up to. At some point in their journey, they had to make peace with being misunderstood. They had to stop explaining. They had to get comfortable being underestimated, because the underdog who moves in silence, that's the scariest competitor in any arena. Let people sleep on you. That's your advantage. All right, let's get tactical, because I'm not here to just give you a vibe and send you on your way. Here's what this actually looks like in practice. Number 1, kill the announcement habit. The next goal you set, do not tell a single person who isn't directly involved in helping you execute it. Not your group chat, not your close friends, not your story. Nobody, just work. Set a 30-day window and see how different the energy feels when you're not performing for an audience. Number 2, let your work do the updating. Instead of, I'm going to post every day this month, just post every day, and then at the end of the month, let the content speak for itself. The difference is massive, both in how others perceive you and in how you feel about your own consistency. Number 3, audit your inner circle. Be honest with yourself about who in your life actually expands your thinking versus who subtly caps it. You don't need to cut anyone off dramatically, but you do need to know whose ear to speak your biggest dreams into, and whose conversation should stay on surface level topics. This is not cold. This is wisdom. Number 4, embrace being misunderstood. If people around you don't fully get what you're building right now, good. That means you're thinking at a frequency they haven't tuned into yet. Stay patient, stay quiet. The result will introduce you properly. And lastly, Number 5, make silence your competitive edge. In a world where everyone is screaming for attention, the person who moves with quiet intentionality has an almost unfair advantage. They don't tip off the competition. They don't exhaust their energy on performance. They just compound, quietly, consistently, relentlessly. Look, I'll be real with you for a second. There were times in my own journey where I announced things I hadn't earned yet, where I posted about the vision before I'd done the work, and every single time, without fail, the energy died. The momentum broke. The universe, or my own psychology, or whatever you want to call it, held me accountable to the fact that I spoke too soon. The shift happened when I stopped performing my process and started trusting it. When I let my results be the only announcement that mattered. When I got comfortable disappearing for a while, going quiet on the noise, and pouring everything into what I was actually building. And I want that shift for you. You don't need more followers. You don't need more people hyping you up. You don't need to announce your next move to feel like it's real. You just need to get to work. In the quiet, in the unglamorous hours, in the moments nobody sees. Because those moments, that's where the real story is written. The posts, the results, the wins that eventually make people say, wait, where did you come from? They all trace back to the silence. So go quiet, go deep, and let what you build speak at a volume that talking never could. If this hit different today, drop a comment and tell me where you're at in your journey. Are you in the building phase, the silence phase, the just figuring it out phase? I want to hear from you. And if you want to be in a community of people who are actually moving in silence and building something real, join the Discord. The link's in the description. We don't just talk about the grind in there. We show up for each other in the quiet. I'll see you in the next one. Stay silent. Stay dangerous.